before. My name is Rina. Today I have another message. I hope that this would be a video for anyone who's dealing with addictions, anyone who would want to improve, anyone who would want to clear, anyone who would want to dissolve those unnecessary habits. So if you resonate with this, then I hope that there will be something helpful for you in this video. So I want to share a bit about my experience, my story, and from that I want to try giving advice, some tips that can help you getting rid of any addiction. So it's not only about alcohol, but you may have your own thing that you want to get rid of. So I want to say a few words about, so I wasn't like an alcoholic or anything like that. Thank God I wasn't, but I was drinking at least a few times a month in my late years. So right now I haven't had alcohol for more than 7 months, and I feel like I already hit the threshold where I can live without it, like chill. And I'm not saying that I will not ever be drinking alcohol, but it's definitely out of my system as a habit. So I might drink wine at some point, but I can live without it, and I can be totally chill. If all alcohol will disappear from this world, I can live without it and I can be happy. So I used to drink maybe like once or twice, at least a few times a month. And I don't even know why I know why. I know why I stopped. Because it stopped giving me the same high. I realized that I get high from being sober. I get high from being sober, from being free, from not feeling like I'm disappearing, because alcohol can make you feel like you're disappearing, you're numbing yourself so much. So I wanted to stay. I was like, I will witness. I don't want to lower my vibration. That's what I thought. I thought that I want to have fun, and I want to learn to have fun and relax without lowering my vibration, without going nowhere, without going into the abyss, without catching any low entities, low frequencies, without projecting the idea that if I want to have fun, if I want to celebrate something, if I want to relax, if I want to do something even, I don't need alcohol to do that. I can be as funny, as fearless, as relaxed without that substance, and I'm gonna feel even better high, because I will get a hit of real dopamine and real adrenaline, and it will happen more naturally. And I don't need to experience hangover, and the more you drink, the stronger hangover there is. So the more you drink, the stronger hangover. And it's like, and since I'm also spiritually sensitive, when I drink, if I have been drinking a bit more than I should, then the night that my body is going to clear this alcohol out of my system, I'm just going to be catching some real shadow entities. And it's if you have been in contact with those lower, denser realm entities, you know how disgusting they are, and you know how much they feed on fear, and they feed on low vibration, and it's very easy for you to catch those entities when you're drinking alcohol, since you have lowered your vibration a lot. And I'm only promoting the benefits of it. I'm not promoting the need. It's like, I'm not saying that you have to be always sober, you have to get rid of it. You can do whatever you want, but for me, what I found is I live life, and I enjoy it so much more, and I don't think about alcohol. If I would go to the club, if I would go to a party, you don't associate with alcohol. You don't associate it with alcohol anymore, and you don't have to think about it, and you can drink juice and have fun, and you can see people clearly. You can see alcohol is like, also it can make you feel really low. So you can see some people who feel really low, and you're like, I don't want to feel that. I want to be free. I want to be clear from that toxin. And I want to clear the paradigm that you need to be using something in order to have fun. Not only alcohol, but other drugs. That you need to be using something to have fun. You can't have fun if you're sober. You can do some crazy shit even if you're sober. It's actually much more fun. It's actually hits you. It's real, you know. When you're drunk and you're doing some crazy shit, yeah, there is some adventure in that, right? But it's like, I was drunk, so that's why I did it, because I couldn't really control myself 100%. But if you're doing some crazy shit when you're sober, this is a real story. This is a real adventure. This is like, yo, I was sober, and then we did this, and then, you know, I think that's much cooler. And living without it, so now I want to flow into the part where I want to give advice to people who are dealing with addictions. So take this advice, adjust this advice to your own personal situation. So first, I think you need to decide, you need to recognize more so what is holding you back, what is messing with your state, what is like, recognize this addiction, recognize that you have it, recognize that, and think about how does it help you. So you would say something like, it helps me to numb out my emotions, it helps me to forget it all, it helps me to switch my mind, it helps me to feel good in my body, in my skin, in my presence. It helps me get rid of the walls. It helps me get rid of, helps me feel good and not think about my problems. So then you have recognized it, and then you can think about things that, what is it taking away from you? It's taking away your life force energy, it's taking away your brain cells, it's taking away your health, it's taking away your soul. So if we're talking about alcohol, It's called spirits for a reason, because your soul is leaving the body. A part of your soul, a part of your essence is leaving the body. It's not adding up to your mental state, so you may think that you're doing amazing while doing this, while being invested in this addiction. You may think, oh, I'm a queen of being sociable when I drink, but that wasn't you actually, because the real you have flown away. The whole totality of you is not there. So what we may want to do is learn how to do the same thing without this addiction. And how do we do that? You need to have strength. You need to push through yourself. And it's always like first times, first few months, they may be the most difficult, especially if it's a psychological addiction. If it's mental addiction, it's going to be difficult at first. But it's like, the analogy that I can give is when you stop drinking tea with sugar or coffee with sugar. So at first few times it's a bit like bitter, but then you get used to it so much that you're disgusted by this sugar. You're like, I don't want to put this sugar into my tea, into my coffee. There is so much sugar everywhere, and I just don't want this sugar in my system anymore. I feel so much better, so much clearer without it. And you start, when you do these things, when you push through it all, you start loving yourself more. You're like, damn, I'm so sick. I know what I'm doing right now. I'm clearing myself out. I know what I'm doing right now is something incredible. I just need to keep pushing through it. And the first thing that you may want to do is find natural change. So replacement. Replace this addiction with something natural. Don't replace it with lighter alternative, because it's just gonna create another addiction. I would say, after all, replace it with something that is more natural, that is natural. And it's like, I think I'm getting this message that it's not even gonna be so hard to quit, because when you will start replacing it with something more natural, and you will start having fun in a different way, you will say something like, I haven't had this much fun in a while, because when I was drinking, when I was lowering my vibration, when I was sleeping with random people or something, there was so much dirt in my system, in my mind, that I couldn't even have fun. It was only self-destruction. And this bitter, because humans are such weird creatures. Humans love to torture themselves. Humans love to suffer. It's like, if you're stuck in a cycle of suffering, it takes a lot of strength to get out there, to believe that there is a better way of being, to believe that there is a better way of doing things. If you're stuck at a toxic job, it may be so toxic that it penetrates you, and you even get a kick out of having to suffer, which is insane. And we need to get rid of that state. We need to change it with more natural things. We need to believe in ourselves. We need to love ourselves more. We need to treasure ourselves. We need to realize that the best high that you can get is your sacred energy. When you're aligned, when you're breathing, when you're walking in nature, when you have released the toxic junk, when you have cried it all out, when you have returned to your totality, this is the best high. And you can go running in that state, get a more natural high. And when you get that natural high, for me personally, that was enough. And it was also tying to the self-love journey as well. So it's like it does require strength, it does require mental fortitude, but I really want to say for this video that it's easier than you may think. You gotta push yourself for first several times, and then you're much more prone to letting it go. And every time that you push it out of your system, you return your soul back to you. And when you return your soul back to you, this is the best bliss that you can experience. Because you feel the presence, because you're like, I am here, I am conscious. And then you're like, you get this hit and you see yourself through a different lens. And you're like, this life is worth me being healthy and exploring it. It's like you realize that time is really precious, and when you waste your time by lowering your vibration in any way, it's not the real bliss, it's not the real high. It's just numbing, it's just throwing your heart, your soul, your essence into trash. This is very low and depressive. This is not a high. A real high is when you're aligned, is when you walk and breathe and run. And you have fun by interacting with people without altering your state of mind. And it was actually so trippy when I started to go to bars, to raves, to clubs, and I don't use anything, I don't drink anything. You see people clearly, you take the vibes, and you're like, you get out of there and you're not in some hazy la la land, but you're actually here and you got this natural hit of dopamine and you got this energy. Next morning you wake up, you have energy to do things, to go somewhere else. You're not like, oh, you know. And I'm talking to people who are willing to change. Because if you're not willing to change, what I'm saying would be like butterflies and unicorns. But trust me, I know what addiction is. That's all I'm gonna say. Trust me, I know what is it when you want more, when you find that this is the only thing that, this is one of the things that can fill you up. Trust me, I've been there. And I have cleansed everything. I cleansed every addiction possible because I have replaced it with a natural high. And the more you do it, the more high you will get. You get high from simply waking up in the morning. You get high that I am alive. I am alive, and tomorrow I'm gonna be alive as well. What can I do with that? How can I explore this world? How can I be so powerful and elevated that there is nothing that can break me? And I can fill the void in my soul with love. And when I give that love back, then I receive it 10 times more. And that's the best drug that can be. That's just the best thing ever. When you cry tears of joy, when someone helped you, when you know that just this today, this time you have received because you have given it. Decide you want to quit, your intention, then why? How would it benefit you if you quit? I would say make a list. How would it benefit you if you quit? And be really honest with yourself. Be real with yourself. You will be real. You will have real experiences. You won't be half hazy, half whatever. You will be real, and you will be alert and observing. And you can learn to have fun while being in this state, because that's the real fun. When you laugh your socks off, when you're sober, this is when you can say that was really funny. That was a nice joke. When you go to stand-up comedy and you don't numb yourself with that beer, you absorb the person and you can really say clearly whether you like them or not. You're not like, oh, whatever. That's insane that this culture has been around for such a long time that when you go out, you have to drink. If you don't drink, you're like, wow, you don't drink? Wow, that's cool. This is insane. Then find another high, more natural high. Start changing your mindset and notice that it's actually better and cooler when you don't do it. You begin to love yourself more. You begin to see yourself in a different light. You realize what you have been doing so far, and you're like, I don't want to do it anymore. It's like, I feel so much better when I don't do it. So again, there is no hangover, there is no this toxic state when you're not here. Okay, and find pleasure in being sober and woke and alert. It's like you need to find high in keeping your life force energy clear and high. So again, that's what I said. When you have your life force energy at a high level, you don't need anything, you don't need any substances, you don't need any numbing mechanism. So if you're overeating, you just don't want to, because even your mind starts saying that I don't want it anymore, because I feel so good when I'm clear. So learning to see sacred beauty and magic without substances. So try walking barefoot, try connecting with nature, try yoga, try meditation, and feel that high after it. And there's nothing that comes close. When you're all powerful, all free, It's like chains. You release the chains. It's liberating. It's nothing. It doesn't come close to being drunk or whatever, you know. This belief forms that anything is possible, and when you feel that, you wouldn't want to lower your vibration. And also getting rid of pessimism in life. This is very important, because when you're pessimistic and you're like, screw it all, it's all going to hell anyway, we're all going to die. When you have this mindset, there is no magic in life, and you only make it worse by adding up to the fire with drinking, smoking, lower vibrational people. So try, the root of the problem is not your addiction to the substance, but you trying to fill the void. So we want to really change our mindset. We want to change from pessimism to optimism. We want to see the beauty in life, start noticing what's good, clinging on to light, and not letting the void to suck you in again. And everyone has a void in their heart. Most of people do. I don't know a person who doesn't have a hole in their heart. Everyone has a hole in their heart. But what you are filling it up with, and do you help yourself? Do you love yourself? And then therefore you fill that with more love, with more self-love. You give yourself that walk, you give yourself that nice meal, you give yourself a swim, you give yourself a good conversation, you give yourself an opportunity to create, and you fill that void with the things that add up to who you are, and you become expanded, you become bigger. And it's like, if you don't experience it, again, you may think that this is all just a rainbows and unicorns and marshmallows. But when you actually start changing something and doing something and being like, let's see the other coin, let's see how good can it get without me poisoning my system, without me shortening my lifespan. Let's prolong this life by always staying young, fresh, clean. And therefore I see clearly. I see myself, people, the world. I experience the whole totality of it, the whole multidimensionality of it. I see the rainbow in front of me every single day when I wake up. Just because I am clear and high on life in the most natural way. And the more you feel, you feed on that, the less you would want to lower your state. So for me, this all has tied to getting more exercise during the day, treating myself even better, like I am my own best friend. I quit drinking alcohol, I quit smoking, I don't use any substances. And again, I'm not saying that I will never do it. I feel good without it at the moment. I feel really great. Walking, meditation, yoga, you give yourself more of that, you give yourself nourishing foods, and you get repelled by lower vibrational foods, by like McDonald's and fast foods. For me personally, I don't want to eat it because I don't even see it as a food. So it's just junk. It's just something that it wouldn't serve me. There is no good things enriching there. You would eat something and 40 minutes later you want to eat again because you didn't get any good from it. You want to treat yourself the best food. You become more in tune, more intuitive. And when you dance in that state, that's why it's called ecstatic dance. You get, when you have sex or when you are in that pure vibration, you create something and you experience the real pleasure. Your sacral chakra is cleared out. That's the real deal, and nothing stands in there. And all you gotta do is keep your vibration clear. And again, I'm not saying that you always have to be like crazy, I can't eat fries because there is oil there. No, but you naturally, that's how it happened for me. Naturally, I became less and less drawn to all the plastic foods, a lot of those like ready frozen meals. I can't eat that anymore. I'm just like, no, this is not real. There is no good things there. You just don't want to. Naturally, you're like, no thanks, no thanks. And when it's funny, when people smoke around me, like even when I sit in the bus and I know that this person has been smoking because I can feel it, I am so repelled by it. And it's funny how I used to smoke and I used to passively smoke. So if people would smoke around me, I would breathe it all in and I would get high, I would get relaxed. It's funny how your state, your mindset, it can shift 180. So this is not like, if you're listening up to this point, this is very, very real. This is easy. This is easier than you think. Always first period after you quit, it's always the hardest. After that, you naturally like, I'm okay. I may get an urge, but I'm okay without it. And then you start changing it to more natural things and you get high in a different way. So I think that that's it for the video. It's saying, don't waste time by living the life in a low vibrational state, because it's disgusting. It really is. When you're feeding the fear, when you're feeding the I've been there, man. I've been there for years. And nah, it's better on the other side of it. It's so much better. You feel fresh, you feel young, you feel ready to play, ready to experience, you feel hungry for life. You ask the stupid questions, you go there, your eyes are shining and bright, and you're not naive. Because people may think that, oh, this person is so bright, they must have never seen this life. No, this person may have seen it all, but they chose to heal. They chose to be bright. They chose to embody them, the real them without world tainting them. So I think that that's it for the video. Thank you so much for listening. I hope this is helpful for anyone who may be dealing with addiction. If you feel like someone needs this video, you're always welcome to share. Leave a like, comment. Thank you so much for being part of the channel, for it is growing and it is beautiful, blissful, and it's a rainbow, and it's a part of my existence is there. So check out my Patreon. There will be more and more cool content there, so you may want to check that out. And it's gonna be like a community, so more and more people can interact with each other as well. And I also do one-on-one consultations where we can talk like this. We can meditate, we can talk, I can do a Reiki healing for you. You may first want to book a free one-on-one call to determine whether we match, whether you want this, whether we click, before you invest. So thank you so much. Have a beautiful day. Bye.